How's it going, everybody? If you stick around to the end, if I remember to, I'll leave a nugget for you about a potential 187 date that we're looking at, that I'm looking at, I should say. All right, Luke 14, column one of my dad's old King James, verses 3 through 12, Revelation 2, 7 through 14. And Jesus answering spake unto the laws and Pharisees, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day? And if not mistaken, we were thinking that's what we were going to get into yesterday when we were doing the study. Hopefully, you're watching all of these in order anyway. They held their peace, and he took him and healed him and let him go. And answered them, saying, Which of you shall have an ass or an ox? If I'm not mistaken, we might have even read into this yesterday. Fall into the pit and will not straightway pull him out on the Sabbath day. They could not answer him again to these things. And he put forth a parable to those which were bidden, and he marked how they chose out of chief rooms, saying unto them, I think that's talking about how they always, want to sit in honor wherever they go. But let's get into this in the New Living just for good clarification's sake here. Jesus asked Pharisees and experts in religious law, is it permitted to heal? We did that. Which if he doesn't. Okay. So this is what I want to look at. When Jesus noticed that all who had come to dinner were trying to sit in seats of honor, that's what we were thinking. Honor near the head of the table. That's what we were thinking. He gave them this advice. When you're invited to a wedding, okay, I should have just kept reading, then we would have known. Chief rooms, saying unto them, When thou art bidden any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room, lest a more honorable man than thou be bidden of him. And he that bade thee and him come to say to thee, Give this man place, and thou begin with shame to take the lowest room. When thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, Friend, go up higher. Then shalt thou have worship in the presence of them that sit at the meal with you. For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humble himself shall be exalted. And this parable or parallel is about how the Lord humbles his sheep before or at the calling. They are brought low before he brings them high. And then Jesus said to them that bade him, When thou makest a dinner or a supper, call not thy friends, nor your brethren, nor thy kinsmen, nor thy rich neighbors, lest they also bid thee again, and recompense be made thee. I think we know what that's saying. Um, he turned to his, then he turned to his host. When you put on a luncheon or a banquet, he said, don't invite your friends, your brothers, your relatives, and your rich neighbors, for of course they'll invite you back, and that will be your only reward. So, exactly what we thought. I'm sure all of us thought that. And then it's going to get into, invite those that are in need, the humble, and so on and so forth. Because that's who the Lord invites to his supper. Again, why? Because he humbles them. All right, Revelation 21, verses 7 through 14. He that overcometh, all sheep will, shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But the fearful, this will be the goats, the unbelieving, and the abominable, and the murderers, and the whoremongers, and the sorcerers, and the idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. And there came unto me one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, remember it's trumpet, vials, bowls, full of the seven last plagues. So this, again, this is John's vision. This isn't like everything is in exact order because here he's talking about an angel that had the plagues, which was way a long time ago during the wrath of God. But he's just saying it was the angel that had the plagues is now coming up and talking to him. And he talked with me saying, "Come up here and I'll show you the bride, the Lamb's wife." And he carried me away in the spirit to a great high mountain and showed me that great city. Again, the great city of Revelation, Revelation 11:8, the great city of Mystery Babylon is where our Lord was crucified. The great city throughout the book of Revelation is always Jerusalem. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, that killeth the prophets, Jesus said. And then they killed Jesus there. And then the Antichrist sets up shop there. And then Mystery Babylon and all the fallen angels that have possessed the bodies and all the fallen angels, they destroy the city. It's part of God's wrath, or I should say, part of God's cleansing process. And then, of course, it's refurbished during the thousand-year millennial reign. Everything must be destroyed to be then rebuilt by the Lord for the Lord. And so he showed me that great city, the Holy Jerusalem, descending from heaven, from God, having the glory of God, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like jasper stone, clear as crystal. And he had a wall great and high, and I had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and the names written thereon, which were the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. And on the east three gates, and on the north three gates, and on the south three gates, and on the west three gates, and on the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. I'm glad you're here. I love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm. Ooh, the nugget. The nugget. The Dark Knight came out 7/18, 2008 on that Friday night. And it's 187 days, 6,187 days to 626. And look at the hours, and we know the movie The Hours, very famous movie, The Hours. Um, Goodness gracious, all their names are going blank. Film, The Hours. So it was Meryl Streep, Nicole Kidman, Julianne Moore, and all types of other actors, very famous actors, so on and so forth. Ed Harris, uh, Jeff Daniels, Claire Danes, but mainly Meryl Streep, Nicole Kidman, Julianne Moore, and Ed Harris. These are all Oscar type folks. And John C. Reilly was in it. And so that tells us to always pay attention to the hours as a clue. And the hours are 148, which is Donald J. Trump in simple gematria. 148, comma, 488 in the hours. 88 is Trump in simple gematria. So it's Donald J. Trump and Trump in simple gematria. But in there, you have two 48s, which is Donald Trump or Donald J. Trump, and one of the other four base ciphers. 48 is, which is why Jimmy Johnson's car was always, doing very well. Um, Hang on a second. So if we key in Donald J. Trump, it's the 148 in the, so just Donald Trump. There it is, 48 in the reduction. Not reverse reduction and not reverse ordinal and not ordinal, but just reduction. So in the reduction, there's Donald Trump is 48. So where was I? So it's got the 148, the 48, the 88. It's got it all. So I'm just saying in the hours. And but it's 187 in the days. On a very high watch day, 626, which is a Thursday, because my late son, he was born 10/22/1983, 4/4/3/626. So you see the 626. I'm not going to tell you what the 4/3 stands for. You can take a guess. You can message me if you're a Facebook friend. I'll tell you. Um, but my son's mom, 8 times 4 times 1964. Her number begins with 628. And there's that 48. And so death and rising are associated with both of them. Excuse me, in both their numbers. The end of my son's number and the beginning of his mom's number. Her birthday is actually same as Barack Obama's. Obama was my year, but her day, August 4th. And then George Bush, before Obama, had my birthday, July 6th. What are the chances of that? And iPet Goat opens up with Bush, then Obama. And I always felt and knew that my son's death was going to relate somehow to these end times. Rest in peace. Nothing might happen on this day. My highest watch day is August 7th, which really relates to my son's passing gigantically. And yeah, in a really, really, really big way. And let's look at The Dark Knight Rises to the rising day of 628. Remember, rose on the third day. The Dark Knight Rises came out on the third day, or 7/20, 2 days later after The Dark Knight. Just 4 years apart, but you see what they did there. Rose on the third day. Sure enough, 4/7/26, 7/26 is Antichrist in English gematria. When you go to the gematria, you key in Antichrist, there's the 626 in the English gematria, which is 6 times English ordinal or simple gematria. So the Dark Knight Rises is 4/7/26 or 4 Antichrist. So I would say that 6/26 next Thursday is a very, very, very high watch day. Anyway, glad you're here. Love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.